So before we start, can someone tell what area in 15th chapter we were discussing in last week? Quick, someone can unmute and tell.
Prabhu, we read till 15.12, Prabhu. We
Yeah,
talked about the transmigration, then 15.12, we just touched upon Krishna's position as a maintainer. Then we need to cover like a post that.
yeah, very good. Thanks a lot, Prabhu. And we also saw in some purports where Srila Prabhupada is mentioning why it is important for a practicing devotee to understand the position of Krishna as the super maintainer of everything, right?
Yes,
Shri
yes,
Krishna
yes.
Saranam Samasta Jagatam. So we talked about sun, moon, how they get energy, how moon plays a very important role in our survival, and so on and so forth. So we continue that journey today of knowing Krishna as the maintainer, and then we'll further go ahead. Yeah. So I'll just share my screen. So as Vasant Prabhu has told, we have finished the transmigration, and then from 1512 to 1515 we were covering in the Purushottam Yoga Krishna's position as the maintainer. So I'll quickly take you through that shloka, the 12 to 1 second. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to see. Okay, can someone read only the translation of 1512?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I'll read Prabhu.
Yeah.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. The splendor of the sun, which dissipates the darkness of this whole world, comes from me, and the splendor of the moon and the splendor of the fire are also from me.
Yeah.
Purport also, Prabhu?
No need, Mataji. So go to the next shloka. We can also read the next shloka.
Uh, I enter into each planet, and by my energy they stay in orbit. I become the moon and thereby supply this juice of life to all vegetables.
Yeah. So Krishna is basically telling his position as a maintainer. And now in this shloka, this shloka is quite famous. This shloka, devotees tend to remember the shloka before taking the prasadam. We don't see that much in the ISKCON tradition, because in ISKCON we tend to remember Sharira Vidya Jal Jyotendra Tahe Kal. But the traditional Brahmins during the while taking the honoring the prasadam after a rituals or some ceremonies tend to chant this shlokas, and they also used to chant the shlokas in the olden days in our Damodar Desh, when we used to have programs in the Guru Darbar, Shiva Temple Guru Darbar. So after the program is over, we used to come down from the Guru Darbar, and in the Shiva Temple, where now people take darshan, and now the Shidi Sai Baba, the deity is there in that area. Prasadam used to be served for all the devotees there every Friday. So in those days, of course, the congregation was quite small. So after the Sharira Vidya Jal, Mani Prabhu used to lead us through this shloka. So Krishna, this is also connected with Krishna as the maintainer. He not only gives energy to sun, and we have seen that for all planetary system there's only one sun, and there's a moon, and moon gives the variety and the taste in the vegetables that we eat to nourish ourselves. So this shloka is there. Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashritah Pranapana Samayukta Pachami Annam Chatur Vidham. So Krishna is telling that he is there within us as the air of life, in the as the fire of digestion in all the living entities and joined with the air of life, that is prana, outgoing incoming to digest the four kind of food that we take. So and just like that we see that we also see in one of the 15th chapter shlokas that he gives the forgetfulness and he also gives the memory. So same like that, he gives us the food, he gives us an instrument for us to take the, like for instrument through our body we take the food, and he also is there as a part of fire of digestion. So can someone chant the shloka?
Yes, Prabhu, I'll try, Prabhu.
Yep.
Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamashritah Pranapana Samayuktah Pachami Annam Chaturvidam.
Yeah, Pachamyannam, we can club it, even though in English they have separated it. Pachamyannam Chaturvidham. So people, devotees, one small request. If you have not by hearted this shloka, try to bookmark this shloka 15, 14, and try to by heart it. So this is very interesting thing to remember Krishna before eating our food, and also knowing that Krishna is there as a fire of digestion. It's pretty interesting where we can relate to Krishna to the one of the daily activities that happens in our body, right? So this is a good way to remember Krishna. So I request any other devotee also wants to chant the shloka.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Aham Vaishvanara Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashritah Pranapana Samayuktaha Pachamyannam Chaturvidam.
Hare Krishna. I'll again tell slowly. I'll tell so that we'll try to get the pronunciation as close as possible. Even though I'm not fully good at the pronunciation, but I'll try my best. Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashritah Pranapana Samayuktaha Pachamyannam Chaturvidham. Yeah. Can anyone, Mataji, want to try this?
Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamashritah Pranapana Samayuktaha Pachami Annam Chaturvidam.
Hare Krishna. Thanks a lot. Can someone read the translation before we?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Translation by Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. I am the fire of digestion in the bodies of all living entities, and I join with the air of life, outgoing and incoming, digest the four kinds of food stuff.
Hare Krishna. So again, as a maintainer, what Krishna is doing is told very clearly here, and repeatedly he's maintaining, is telling us his own position in various aspects that we can relate: sun, moon, air, incoming, outgoing, and the digestion itself. Because digestion is one of the main things, right? Otherwise, what we eat, if we cannot digest, we cannot survive. We'll just we'll collapse. So digestion is a very important part of our life. So I am the fire of digestion in the bodies of all the living entities, and I join with the air of life, outgoing and incoming, to digest four kinds of things. So Srila Prabhupada obviously, one second. Yeah, Srila Prabhupada obviously quotes the Ayurveda and things like that. Krishna is the maintainer of this material world. There are four kinds of foodstuff: swallowed, chewed, licked, and sucked. These are the four types of food that we take. And to digest, we need Krishna's energy as fire and life fire, outgoing and incoming. So Krishna is there within us. He Sarvasichaham Hrudi Sannivishto. So he is also there as a part of, as Paramatma in our heart, and is also there as a fire in the digestion. So importance of digestive fire: fire in the stomach digests all foodstuffs and there. If the fire is not blazing, there is no hunger. And of course, if the fire is blazing too much, also what happens? We get ulcers, right? Duodenal ulcer, peptic ulcer, because if you don't take food properly, or some people genetically also suffer from that, and it's very chronic, chronic disease. If that balance goes out, it really troubles quite a lot. And people who actually go through this know the difficulty in that, because at a very young age in my life, I got duodenal ulcer when I was 23 years old. It was very, very tough for me to manage with that. I suffered quite a long time with that, with a lot of medication and things like that. So I know what happens if too much of fire is there in the stomach, and what kind of a damage it can cause to us. So supporting references: Brihat Aranyaka Upanishad. Supreme Lord is situated as a fire in the stomach and digesting all kinds of food. Like always, Srila Prabhupada goes to Guru Sadhu Shastra. So he's giving Shastric evidences or Brihat Aranyaka Upanishad. And Vedanta Sutra is also telling that Lord is situated within sound, body, air, even within the stomach as digestive fire. So this is very important. Lord is situated within sound. The form of sound, we have the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the manifestation of the sound, vibration, body, that is, and then air, even within the stomach as digestive fire. So this is the Krishna, the maintainer of everybody. Whether we believe God as Krishna or Krishna as God, but this is a fact. Modern science also tells that there is fire in the body, right? Who has put that fire? Who is digesting? And who is controlling the digestion? And all these questions lead to that there is somebody who is there, and we call that God as Krishna. And if someone doesn't want to call us Krishna, but they have to agree to the fact that there is something in the body that God has created, which is causing us to go through all this, right? And of course, the next shloka is a very, very, very famous shloka. I think most of you have.
Prabhuji,
Also.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, can I just add something to the previous shloka? I think it's very, very important. I mean, today only I understood the importance of this shloka after you told, actually, because this is, we are eating every day, right? Every day, 3-4 times every day. And if you can relate Krishna with that activity, as you say, that because of Krishna's mercy, we have the right kind of fire in our stomach, and that's why everything happening, So that's I think the very wonderful things, So I just want to,
Yeah.
add to that, And because it is happening every day nicely to us, and we are probably not able to, feel Krishna's presence, Those who don't have this, I think they can understand how important it is, the digestive system, So it is very important because, and we are doing everyday basis, few times, and many times we are doing throughout the day. So connecting to that, to Krishna is a wonderful thing. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Yeah, that's the wonderful thing that you have told. Among the prayers, among the mantras that we chant, or sometimes we remember every day, every time, we may not be able to chant the full series of the mantras or the text. But one thing is there, one prayer that could be very powerful, which most of the times I use it. Sometimes, of course, I slip it, I miss it, because of the temptation of sense gratification. Otherwise, I tend to. I learned it from my colleague. This small one-liner prayer, that to pray to the God that the morsel of food that is going into mouth is going because of your mercy. If that is not there, even the whatever I might have have, this wouldn't have happened. So there is some of your mercy component is there. That's the reason why today I'm getting this morsel of food into my mouth. That's a silent prayer. I try to do it within myself. It makes a good feeling when you're taking honoring prasadam, or even when you're taking normal food. It's a very interesting thing that helps us to remember Krishna. Thanks, Lord Prabhu. So 1515 is definitely a shloka that many of you would have already known by heart. So we'll also deal with this, and it's a very, very important shloka. very often quoted shloka in if you see Prabhupada's lectures or the disciples of Prabhupada, they quote this to tell the fact that Krishna is there within us as Paramatma. Paramatma is not Krishna, but Krishna is Paramatma. So recently, I heard one very nice series of lectures by one devotee called Vaishnavangri Prabhu. He is in Bhakti Vedanta Institute in Juhu. So they do a lot of research, translations, and they do a lot of study. He has been there in that team for the last 30 years. So when he sends he also writes articles, right? In particular in Telugu and English also. So when he told a very interesting example, interesting thing that he normally encounters when he writes an article, and that is related to this shloka in a way. So when he writes Lord Krishna or Krishna in the article, right? Obviously, it's about Krishna conscious article, so naturally, name of Krishna comes. So editors, when they edit the thing, they try to size the thing and they remove some things and put it right because it has to fit to the newspapers that limit and layout. So when sometimes they see Krishna, they put as Krishna Paramatma, particularly in Telugu language. So when he does the proofreading for the final thing, then he goes back to them and says, "No, this is wrong. Please don't write as Krishna Paramatma." So they get very confused, and why this person is saying like that? Because very often we also use it, right? Krishna Paramatma, Krishna Paramatma. So he told us that he used to explain to the editors that no, please don't write it. Technically, it is not right. Krishna is not Paramatma. Paramatma is part of Krishna, Amsha of Krishna. You say Krishna Paramatma, means you're trying to diminish the value of Krishna. So even though it is done without any purpose in mind, but he said it is very interesting that the small things, sometimes when we take it for granted without knowing, we are somewhere or other diminishing the greatness and the Krishna as the maintainer and the source of everything. So he said, try not to use that word Krishna Paramatma to the extent possible. Of course, we can use it; it's nothing wrong. But technically, there is a very subtle difference on using those words. So he says, by being conscious of what we use, how we use these words, also tells the depth of our knowledge and our commitment to Srila Prabhupada's teachings. So that was pretty interesting. And he said, no matter how many times I tell them, eventually, sometimes they still put in that word Krishna Paramatma in the articles, because editors, they don't feel very comfortable to say Krishna Bhagavan. They somehow feel that people accept the word Krishna Paramatma or than Bhagavan Krishna or Sri Krishna Bhagavan. So it's pretty interesting that how the lack of knowledge or sometimes awareness of what it is, Krishna's position as a maintainer, sometimes leads us to this kind of a thing. So when he was telling this thing, I suddenly remembered this shloka, and I said that I have to internalize this shloka so that these kind of a things we can be made aware, or we can understand when someone says it. Yeah. So 15:15 is also one shloka where we should try to remember by heart. It's a very important shloka where Krishna himself, in the position as a maintainer, is telling that he is there very near with us and is very near within us in the heart, and is also giving us the memory, forgetfulness, and is the compiler of the knowledge, the whole source of body of knowledge, and he is also the knower, and is also the compiler. Yeah. So sarvasya chaham hrudi sannivishto mattah smritir jnanam apohanam cha vedesha sarvair ahameva vedyo vedanta krit vedavit eva chaham. Yeah. So can someone chant the shloka and then meaning? At least we'll do it from 3 devotees before we move.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, can I try?
Yes, Mataji.
सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टो मत्तस्मृतिर्ज्ञानमपोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैरहमेव वेद्यो Vedanta-krit-ved-videv chaham. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas.
Thank you, Dhimanta. Very well chanted, very well read as usual. Very good. Hare Krishna. So, can anyone else read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टो मदस्मृतिज्ञानं मापोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैरहमेव वेद्यो वेदान्तकृद्वेदविदेव चाहम्. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, there's also a very interesting thing, right? Here, Krishna is telling that he's situated in everyone's heart, and he's saying that he's giving remembrance and knowledge. Sometimes we tend to say that, right? I have become very knowledgeable, but actually we cannot become very knowledgeable. It is only Krishna's knowledge, some part of it, that we have got it, right? Because Krishna is the compiler of the Vedanta, which is the source of knowledge, and is also knower of Vedas. So by knowing this, we can also help us to reduce our false ego, that we are knowledgeable, we know everything. Knowledge is knowing, right? So that also helps us, and it also helps us to know that Krishna is there seated in everyone's heart. So we should be able to see Krishna in everywhere and everything. This relates to the shloka of Bhagavad Gita 6:30. Yomam pasyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pasyati tasyaham na pranashyami sajame na pranashyati. Because the one who sees Krishna everywhere and everything in him, Krishna is never lost to them. So this shloka is also very important. So let's see how the purport is unpacked. So here is saying yoga of the Supreme Krishna 15. We're talking about the maintenance. Sarvasya chaham hrudi sannivisto. So he's there seated in everyone's heart, be it an animal, human being, bird, everyone. Matta smrutir jnanam apohomrancha. He is giving remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. Vedesha sarvair ahameva veja. So he is the body of the knowledge. Vedanta krut with eva chaham. So he is also the knower of the Vedas. So whatever the body of knowledge that we get from Vyasadeva, that's why Vyasadeva is also known as the incarnation of the Lord, right? Who has come into this world to give us that knowledge, to transmit that knowledge, of which Krishna is the original author, of original source of that knowledge. So that's why Vyasa is revered a lot, because through Vyasa, through the incarnation of that incarnation of Vyasa, of the Bhagavan as Vyasadeva, we get it. So this is particularly important for us to know this month, because somewhere during this month we get this Guru Purnima. On that day, many people remember Vyasadeva. That day is remembered as Vyasadeva. The people worship gurus, their respective gurus, be spiritual, be material, or whatever. So in ISKCON, of course, we are on a day-to-day basis worship Guru and Guru Parampara. So in that way, there is no very specific big program that is done. But normally, people tend to do this as a Guru Puja. So if at all we get an opportunity to speak in those occasions in any forums, we should tell the greatness of Vyasa, how he has given us Srimad Bhagavatam, how he has given us Vedas, Upanishads, and of course Gita Upanishad, the Bhagavad Gita that we read. And Vyasa is a very, very interesting and a great personality who is completely empowered. And people who visit Badrinath, I don't know how many of you visited Badrinath, so we were fortunate to visit Badrinath along with so many of our devotees in Damodar Desh. We went twice. It's a part of Char Dham in Uttarakhand. So in Badrinath, from Badrinath temple, it's about, I would say, half an hour bus ride, and then about half an hour trekking. you do, and you reach the place where river Saraswati came, and then it goes into the into silent mode. It comes as a very violent thing from the glaciers of Himalayas. It's a super scene to watch. You can't believe it. And then there is Vyasa Guha. So Vyasa was supposed to be there meditating while he was compiling the thing along with Ganesh ji, and he felt that Saraswati river was making too much of a noise. It's coming with such a big force, huge force. We can't even imagine such a volume of water, thrusting through these stones and big boulders. And then since Vyasadeva said to Saraswati, "You are causing me a lot of disturbance, so this is not fair because I've come here to do some very important activity in this Guha." So, being a very obedient devotee, Saraswati Devi has a mood of service. Actually, it comes with a huge noise, and we see the Vyasa Guha, and just behind that Vyasa Guha, if you go a little bit, suddenly it becomes silent. Actually, it goes into the earth. We can see that it becomes very silent. I don't know how it's scientifically, it's very impossible to conceive a river that is flowing just few, less than a half a kilometer, or probably half a kilometer, with such a force and noise, suddenly becomes silent. It's a thing to watch. I mean, it's not a story. It's wonderful to watch. And there's also a very interesting thing in that Vyasa Guha is that is from that direction point of view. That's the last village in India, Indian geographical border. So a few meters out that Indian border is there. I think it's Sikkim or Tibet. One of those things come there. So you'll see a lot of military posts, and so whatever shop you see in that place, it says the last tea shop of India, last sweater shop of India, last shank shop of India, last medical shop of India. So in that small place, everything is says as last. So it's a very interesting place. So since we are seeing Vyasadeva, and it is Vyasa's appearance, the Guru Puja, Guru Purnima is coming. So I'm remembering Vyasadeva. I'm also requesting you to remember. So why I'm telling all this vivid descriptive things about this is very interesting. And so second time when we went, we had Sarvabhauma Prabhuji also with us. So he was telling that this is a place where ISKCON has to do something, at least to put some sets of Srimad Bhagavatam, because the Srimad Bhagavatam, Vyasadeva has compiled Srimad Bhagavatam, but in the modern age, if you see the last 60 to 70 years of, at least 60 years of the history of the current material world, it is Srila Prabhupada who has actually brought the Bhagavatam to millions and hundreds and thousands of homes. Even though Vyasadeva's Bhagavatam is there, as a Mool Bhagavat was there, but it is Srila Prabhupada who has done it, and I don't think no other spiritual leader in this world has attempted to transliterate given purports to Srila Prabhupada did till 10th canto, 14th chapter. So nobody has done it. So he was telling that ISKCON has to do something to put some Srimad Bhagavatams there and do something. So I think they were doing something also. I'm not sure whether it's completed or not. So in that way, we very fondly remembered seeing Vyasadeva, greatness of him, and then there. And it's also a very good place to remember for Madhvas, because Madhvacharya considered Vyasadeva as his guru. So when he was writing commentary on Bhagavatam, whenever he had doubts or something like that, he used to go to that place, and they say that he had an audience with Vyasadeva, one-to-one, and then he used to get clarified. So it's a very, very powerful place, Vyasa Guha. It's a good trek, very enjoyable trek, and so it's nice. So at least once in a lifetime, we should all desire to visit Chardham, the Yamunotri, Gangotri, Kedarnath, and Badrinath in Uttarakhand. It's a worth visiting at least once in a lifetime experience. It's unbelievable, unforgettable experiences of those holy places that we see. And along the trek towards the Himalayan glaciers, we see so many Prayags, Ganges, and those rivers, Alaknanda, Ganges, Bhagirathi. so many rivulets, rivers coming up and becoming and again spreading out, again coming, Dev-prayag, Rudra-prayag, and so many sanghas, the confluences we see. And several stories around Mahabharata also are there along with in those places. So why we are doing all this thing is Vedanta Krut Veda with Eva Chaham. So Krishna is a knower compiler of Vedanta, and that Veda we have got it through Vyasadeva. And among those Vedantas, the cream of the knowledge, so many Puranas were compiled by Vyasadeva, and with so many Puranas, one great Purana, of course, Srimad Bhagavatam, and the Srimad Bhagavatam, and of course the Itihasas, Mahabharata, where Bhagavad Gita is a part of it. Srila Prabhupada has done a phenomenal job as a kind of a representative of Vyasadeva to this modern world to give us this phenomenal knowledge, so that today, as we sit here comfortably in our homes, we are able to understand and decipher what Krishna is saying. Yeah. So, can someone take this thing? The Krishna, the only source, Sarvasya Chaham Hrudi Sannivishto, from left to right. I'll try to make it. Yeah.
I will take it. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Yes.
Paramatma. Supreme Lord is in everyone's heart as a Paramatma and is all pervading. I will give pause or I will
No,
finish.
you can continue, Prabhuji.
Okay. Paramatma is the initiator of all activities. Supreme Lord is the witness of all past acts. Living entity acts accordingly to past deeds. Living entity forgets and has to act according to the direction of Supreme Lord. Lord's direction. He gives remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. Also awards different fruitive results.
So
Krishna.
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, Prabhuji. Importance is Lord, Supreme Lord is a witness of all past acts. Yeah, that's a pretty important thing. Yeah.
Krishna, the only source. God is all God and merciful. He is supplier and digester of all foodstuff. From Sloka 15.1 to 15.14. Witness of all activities. Giver of knowledge as Vedas and Bhagavad Gita. Thus, he is worshipable by the conditioned soul. Conclusion. Defines all these three stages of perfection. Supreme Lord as Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva. He gives the Veda Sutra Srimad Bhagavatam. Veda gives the right direction to the people to mold their lives and come back to the Godhead. Veda gives knowledge of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Veda provides perfection in three stages. Establishing the relationship as the purpose of Veda by understanding the Vedic literature, one understands the relationship with Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why Lord presents Vedic knowledge? Because a living entity individually needs to understand the Krishna. Lord gives intelligence, understanding the process of Veda by performing different process. One approaches him. Example, performance of Vedic rituals, discussions of Vedic philosophy, and worship of Lord. Goal of Vedas. At the end of one attains the supreme goal.
Thank you, Prabhu. I'll try to redo this again. Here the Vedas provide three stages. Actually, it should have been numbered here 1, 2, and 3. And these are the sub bullets. Yeah. The first bullet is establishing the relationship as the purpose of the Vedas, like Sambandha Jnana, right? We come to know who are we, who is Lord, and what is our relationship between them. Yeah. In our understanding, our relationship is that we are His eternal servants. And in that, why Lord presents Vedic knowledge? Because the living entity individually needs to understand Krishna, because of our forgetfulness, because we want to enjoy, and because we are being controlled by three modes of material nature, we need some guidance. So Vedas helps us. and also in order to get that understanding, he also gives us the intelligence. So this is the point number 1, 1.1, 1.2. 2, understanding process Vedas by performing different process. One approaches him like Vedic rituals, karma kanda, discussions of Vedic philosophy, worship of the Lord, are the different ways in which we do it. And what do you call, through the teachings of Srila Prabhupada, that's a better way to put it. We follow the Navavidha Bhakti, or 5 limbs of the Bhakti that have been propounded by the Acharyas, and then that's understanding process Vedas will start. And goal of Vedas is ultimately to go back to Godhead. And we in the previous sessions we had an interesting discussion whether we can go back within the same life, or we have to take certain lives. And of course the opinions of the thing differ, but definitely there are very emphatic statements from Srila Prabhupada and his disciples that yes, it is possible within this life we can go back to Godhead, provided of course we do those things that make us eligible to go back to Godhead. On the periphery of it, they look to be very, very difficult, because in the kind of a situation that we are in, we are far away from there. But nevertheless, we should have the hope, because the assurance is given by the Acharyas. So even though we may not have that much mercy, that much ability to do so, but if we are in the company of those who have that ability, we may go back. So I think I've told this to you before also. Whenever I remember this, I remember one of the statements of His Holiness Shivarama Swami Maharaj. He told that by myself I don't have any qualification and ability to take my disciples back to Godhead, but I have confidence that I can do it, because I am catching the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, who has the capability to take me back to Godhead. So if he has got the capability to take me to Godhead, if my disciples cling me, they will also get that benefit of going back to Godhead. So this is how the Guru Parampara also comes, and this is the conviction that one should have about his spiritual master, that they will definitely guide them to going back to Godhead. Again, it's not unconditional. There are certain conditions, there are certain sadhana rules and regulations that we need to follow, and become deserving enough to be getting the mercy of the spiritual master. Just we can't say that since the spiritual master has told that I will go back to Godhead in this life, doesn't work. There's an effort that we need to do to get there. Okay, so now
Prabhuji,
yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. In the japa session, we heard this kind of similar thing, Prabhuji. Then when we were chanting, when we are doing japa, it's not that we can do very nice chanting. Mahatma said that it is the japa. We should think that japa help me to chant better rounds. It's not actually my effort. Yes, I need to do effort. I should have a commitment, but that is not enough to do nice chanting. Actually, nice chanting happens when we surrender to the chanting, and then chanting makes it happen. So it's kind of similar things almost, no, Prabhuji? Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thanks a lot for sharing this wonderful realization, Prabhu. Very, very big thanks. Yeah, it's the strength of the holy name that carries us. It's not that we put some strength to the holy name to do better. Yeah, correct. Exactly. That belief should be there. That understanding has to be there on the strength of the holy name, on the strength of Guru, and of course on the strength of Krishna. It is that carries, not our effort. Yeah, that's very good. And that's a part of the
Prabhuji, that Damodar Leela also, no, Damodar 2-finger shot is the similar thing. We put our effort, it's our effort and the Lord's mercy. So similar message there also, no?
Yeah.
But sometimes we think that some people say Lord will do everything for us. We don't need to put much effort. That is also not correct.
No.
We must put our effort. We should have our commitment, and the Lord's mercy make it happen.
1 second, Prabhu. Sorry, Prabhu. Sorry. Yeah, correct, Prabhu. That's correct. Exactly right. Thanks a lot for this. So now we will move to section D, 15, 16 to 20. Here, three shloki Bhagavad Gita comes. In 10th chapter, we have the Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita, and here 16 to 20 three shloki comes because basically it summarizes the contents of the 15th chapter in very, very powerful words. 16th says that conditioned living entities are fallible, living entities in harmony with the Lord's creation are infallible. Fallible means somebody can fall down, and but if we docile our lives and we live in harmony with the Lord's instruction, we become infallible. Beyond both the fallible and in the infallible is the transcendental supreme person, the super soul who maintains the three worlds. That's the 17th shloka. And Krishna is celebrated both in the world and in the Vedas as the supreme person, as the super soul. So this chapter is also given a lot of importance because Purushottama, Krishna, is the supreme personality of the Godhead, and here Krishna himself is conclusively telling that he is the supreme personality of the Godhead. And if we know that and we remember that and we follow our life and we dovetail our life to that idea, that understanding, spiritually our life will be successful. This is what the elders are saying. Even though Krishna does tell about some similar things in 7th chapter, 9th chapter, 12th chapter, and 15th chapter is very dominant. Purushottama Yoga. And whoever knows Krishna's position knows everything, and he engages in Krishna's service. This is a very, very powerful, right? Whoever knows Krishna's position knows everything, and he engages in Krishna's service, right? So this is very interesting, and we have this pastime of Srila Prabhupada with Malati Mataji and Shamsundar Prabhu's daughter Saraswati, with whom Srila Prabhupada was very close, and he used to play with her, Saraswati. So I think one day, I don't remember this pastime verbatim. I just try to tell the reframe that thing in the gist, and Prabhupada, I was like kind of playing with her and teasing and asking her who is Krishna, and she very confidently replied that Krishna is the supreme personality of the Godhead. And Prabhupada was very happy with that answer, that little girl so convincingly telling that Krishna is the supreme personality of the Godhead. So whoever knows Krishna's position knows everything. So that little girl knew kind of everything. At least she has demonstrated, even in that playful pastime with Srila Prabhupada. Knowing this most confidential part of Vedic knowledge makes one wise and brings perfection to one's endeavors. So in that way, the 15th chapter ends. So we have 5 minutes of time. So we will cover only this thing, and then we will chant. We'll take the next session to cover those three shloki Bhagavad Gita. 15:16 tells there are two kinds of living entities: fallible and in the material world, and infallible, liberated in the spiritual world. Fallible and infallible, two entities. Fallible is conditioned in the material world, and infallible, liberated in the spiritual world. Spiritual soul is the master of both, is the greatest personality. He enters the three worlds and then maintains them. Krishna, I am that supreme soul celebrated both in the worlds and in the Vedas as the supreme person. So these are the three shloki. Do we have time till 7:15 so that we can cover these also, or no?
Yes, Prabhuji. I think we can have.
Okay. So can someone read this? Fallible, and someone read fallible and others will read infallible.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, can I read, Prabhu?
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji.
The fallible. The living entities in contact with the material world are called Jiva Bhuta. Struggling in the world with the mind and the five senses, bodies are constantly undergoing 6 changes. Due to contact with matter, the living entity appears to be changing. Any living entity in contact with matter, Brahma down to small ant, is changing its body.
Yeah. Atma doesn't change, but the body changes. Yes, Prabhu. So right hand side, can someone read infallible?
Yes, Prabhu. Infallible. They are in oneness with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Oneness does not mean that they have no individuality. It means there is no disunity. They are all agreeable to the purpose of creation. Of course, in the spiritual world, there is no such thing as creation. But since the Supreme Lord is the source of all emanations, that conception is explained. Thus, this refutes Mayavada. In spiritual world, the body does not undergo 6 changes like matter. All the living entities are always liberated in oneness. This oneness with Krishna of those infallible souls in the spiritual world is here called Kutastuha, as a oneness in desire. We are therefore required, as Krishna said in 15.4 to 5, to be detached from the material world as Krishna is detached, and overcoming our desire for independent enjoyment, surrender unto him. Hare Krishna. Sorry for the disturbance, Prabhu.
No problem. She's also learning. She's also teaching us something. The infallible means there is oneness with Supreme Personality of the Godhead. That oneness is not that we are losing individuality, but we are in unity. That there is no disunity. We are in unity with Krishna. And then here it's very, very well explained that, it also refuting the theory of Mayavada, because Krishna is very clearly explaining him that he is a person who is infallible and he is to be known as the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. So in the 17, the Supreme Soul is the master of living entities, both living entities. He is the greatest living personality. He enters in the 3 worlds and is maintaining them. And several Upanishads, Kata, Sveta, Swatara, Upanishad, Nityo, Nityanam, so those shlokas are quoted in the purport. It explains that both living entities, both conditioned and liberated, there is Supreme Living Personality who maintains them, giving them all facilities for enjoyment. Who is wise man who can obtain perfect peace? One who understands Supreme Personality of the Godhead as the Supreme Personality, who is also present in everyone's heart as Paramatma and maintaining everyone, is the one who attains peace. And also in 5th chapter 29th shloka also it is told, right? Bhoktaram Ignatapasam Sarva Lokamayeshwaram Suhrudam Sarva Bhutanam Jnatwamam Shantiruchati. So the one who knows him as the supreme benefactor, Supreme Personality and enjoyer of everything is the one who attains peace. And 18, can someone read the meaning of 18?
Yeah,
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, can I try?
Yeah.
Because I am transcendental, beyond both the fallible and infallible, and because I am the greatest, I am celebrated both in the world, and in the Vedas as the Supreme Person.
So there's no other proof than this, that Krishna is a person, and as a person is coming to Arjuna and declaring him his own position. Yeah. Chauhan Prabhu, you can go through this.
Yes, Prabhu. The living entity in comparison to the Lord. Both are always individuals. Difference is that living entity at any stage, conditioned or liberated, cannot surpass in quantity the inconceivable potencies of the Lord. These 2 points refute that Supreme Lord and living entity are equal in all respects, thus refutes Mayavad. This is indicated by the word Uttama. No one can surpass the superior position of the Lord. Importance of Loke signifies in the Paurusha Agama reference Smriti scriptures. Nirkuti dictionary explains the purpose of Vedas is explained by the Smriti scriptures. Reference Supreme Lord as having a localized aspect as Paramatma. Reference Chandogya Upanishad 8.12.3.
So Krishna is the original personality of the Godhead, and he expands as Paramatma in all the living entity. And what's the relationship between living entity and the Supreme? First is an expansion. Quality wise they are same, but quantity wise we are different. That's all. And then can someone read the meaning of 19?
I can try, Prabhu. Whoever knows me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, without doubting, is the knower of everything. He therefore engages himself in full devotional service to me, O son of Bharata.
Yeah, who is the knower of everything? One who knows me as the supreme personality of God without doubting, and results one engages in full devotional service up to me. And like this, and then after this, of course, again this message is there, and the 20th shloka. Can someone read the meaning? And then we'll quickly run through the shlokas. Yeah, just the meaning.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I'll try again, Prabhu. This is the most confidential part of the Vedic scriptures, O sinless one, and it is disclosed now by me. Whoever understands this will become wise, and his endeavors will know perfection. Hare Krishna.
So now we'll quickly run through the shlokas. Okay. Yeah, can someone read the shloka? Should I make it bigger?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, can you read?
Yes, Mata.
द्वाविमौ पुरुषौ लोके शरच्चाक्षर एव च शरत् सर्वाणि भूतानि कूटस्थोऽक्षर उच्यते.
Very good. Yeah, so can you read the meaning also, Mataji?
Yeah, translation by Student Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. There are two classes of beings, the fallible and the infallible. In the material world, every living entity is fallible. And in the spiritual world, every living entity is called infallible. Hare Krishna. Read purport also, Prabhu?
No, Mataji. You've covered that. Yeah. Can someone read this?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Uttama purushastvanya paramatmetyu udahritaha yo lokatrayamavishya bibarthi avyaya ishvaraha.
Thank you. Translation?
Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Besides these two, there is the greatest living personality, the Supreme Soul, the imperishable Lord Himself, who has entered the three worlds and is maintaining them.
Yeah. Can someone read this?
तस्मात् सर्वमतोऽहम् तत्सत्ताविचुत्तमः Translation is because I am transcendental beyond both the fallible and infallible, and because I am the greatest, I am celebrated both in the world and in the Vedas as that supreme person.
Yeah. Can someone read this?
यो मामेवमसम्मूढो जानाति पुरुषोत्तमं स सर्वविद् भजति मां सर्वभावेन भारत. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Whoever knows me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting is the knower of everything. He therefore engages himself in full devotional service to me, O son of Bharata.
And can someone read this, the last shloka? Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Shall I read? Iti guhyam tamam shastram idam uktam maya nagah etad buddhva buddhiman syat krita Krityascha Bharata. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. This is the most confidential part of the Vedic scriptures, O sinless one, and it is disclosed now by me. Whoever understands this will become wise, and his endeavors will know perfection.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, would you like to read it again?
Yeah. Iti guhyam tamam shastram.
Yeah, Mata, that's what I wanted to tell.
Shastram. Sorry, it's shastram.
No.
Yeah.
Iti guhyatamam. Guhyam means confidential, right? Iti guhyatamam shastram. Can you read it again?
Yeah. Iti guhyam.
No,
Iti guyyatamam shastram.
Guhyam, Mataji, guhyam.
Guhyam.
I don't know, in Malayalam it's not there. Guhyam. Guhyam means secret.
Yeah, guhyam. Right?
Yeah, guhyam. Guhyam.
Guhyam. Okay.
Yeah, guhyam. Guhyam, in my mother tongue, if you say guhyam ra idente, I mean, it has to be, it reminds me of a small WhatsApp message which Vasant Prabhu has shared today. Guhyatamam Shastram, yeah.
Iti guyyatamam shastram idam uktam maya nagah etad buddhva buddhiman syat krita krityascha bharata.
Yeah. Iti guhyatamam. Guhyam Mataji. Ha, ya. Guhya.
Guhya.
No, guhya. Hya. Ha, ya.
Yeah. Okay.
Guhyatamam. Iti guhyatamam shastram idam uktam maya nagha etat buddhva buddhiman syat. Yeah?
Okay, Prabhu.
Yeah, it's some words. It always happens, Mataji. Some words we don't get it. My wife always teases me, in Telugu, renunciation, right? Tyaga, it comes Tyaga, Tyajincha. Tyajincha is what I said. I said Tyagincha, I keep saying. She corrected me so many times. I get corrected, but when I speak, I do it wrong. Every time she scolds me. Why are you making that mistake? So Guhyam is one confidential thing. So like this, we have Hare Krishna devotees. We have completed the 15th chapter. Any quick realizations on what we learned? Oh, sorry, today we forgot in Hindi. Sant Gopeshwar Prabhu, can you just overall brief about the 15th chapter in Hindi quickly? And meanwhile, I'll pull up some other information. Sant Gopeshwar Prabhu is there?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah.
Prabhu, about 15th chapter or today's discussion?
15th chapter.
Okay. Prabhu, in the 15th chapter, we...
1 second, Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhu.
1 second. I'll give you a slightly easier way to do that. So that devotees also, as Santa Gopeshwar is telling people who want to see the English text, they can see, and basically he'll be using this. Just wait, Prabhuji. I just suddenly it struck me that I think we should end the chapter like this. It will be very useful. Yeah. 1 second, Prabhu. I'll make it slightly big for you. And now I'm sharing the screen. So English devotees can keep reading this, as Sant Gopeshwar Prabhu will be briefing us about this in Hindi.
Prabhu, can the font be made little bigger?
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji. It's okay now?
Yeah, Prabhu, better Prabhu.
Yeah.
तो ये 15वां जो अध्याय उसमें उसका जो समरी है वो HOME इस अक्षर से कर सकते हैं. तो H मतलब घर या फिर होटल. तो जिस तरह से बनियन ट्री जो रहता है उसका जो रिफ्लेक्शन रहता है, प्रतिबिंब रहता है जो पानी में, वो प्रतिबिंब मटेरियल वर्ल्ड की तरह, भौतिक संसार की तरह है, और ये जो बनियन ट्री है वो एक स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड है, आध्यात्मिक जगत है. तो ये जो हमारे जो इच्छाएं रहती है, ये इच्छाएं, ये जो पानी है वो हमारी इच्छाएं प्रतीक करती है. तो जिस तरह से हम पानी में रिफ्लेक्शन देखते हैं स्पिरिचुअल, इस तरह से हमारे डिजायर्स के ऊपर, हम इस भौतिक संसार में, हमारी इच्छाओं के ऊपर हम इस भौतिक संसार में फंसे हुए. और जिस तरह से हम पंछी एक डाली से दूसरी डाली, या फिर मतलब एक कोई स्वादिष्ट फल के खोज में यहाँ वहाँ कुत्ता रहता है, कोई बंदर या फिर कोई पंछी उड़ता है, उसी तरह से हम इस भौतिक संसार में भौतिक सुख का प्राप्ति के लिए यहाँ से वहाँ हम लोग सिर्फ एक शरीर से दूसरे शरीर हम लोग कूदते रहते हैं। और ये ऑन एंड ऑन, मतलब बारंबार ये चलता रहता है। तो प्रभु, कैन वी गो लिटिल डाउन प्रभु?
Is it okay, प्रभु जी?
थैंक यू। सो ये जो है वो ये जो हम लोग एक शरीर से दूसरे शरीर या फिर एक सुख से दूसरे भौतिक सुख में हम लोग जो उसके इच्छा के पीछे भागते हैं, ये बारंबार होते रहता है। ये बताते हुए कृष्णा भौतिक संसार जो ओरिजिनल बनियन ट्री जिसे रेफरेंस किया गया था, उसके बारे में वहाँ पे उसके उनका एक वहाँ उसके बारे में आध्यात्मिक जगत के बारे में एक छोटा सा हिंट देते हैं, ग्लिम्स देते हैं। तो वहाँ पे वो कहते हैं कि जैसे उन्होंने कहा था कि वहाँ पे इलेक्ट्रिसिटी नहीं है और सन और मून वहाँ पे लाइट नहीं करते, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी नहीं है, फायर नहीं है एनलाइटन करने के लिए, प्रकाशित करने के लिए। तो उस तरह से वो थोड़ा सा ग्लिम्स देते हैं। और वहाँ पे जाने के बाद वापस कोई इस भौतिक संसार में आता नहीं है। जब मृत्यु के समय जब हम ये शरीर छोड़ते हैं, जब हम लोग मृत्यु के समय शरीर छोड़ते हैं, अपने इच्छा और अपने कर्म के हिसाब से हमें दूसरा शरीर मिलता है। तो जैसे बाइबल में कहा जाता है पेशेंट मैन प्रोपोजस गॉड डिस्पोजस, दूसरे जिस यहाँ पे हम प्रोपोज कर रहे हैं, मतलब हम भगवान, हम अपना इच्छा प्रकट करें अपने कर्म से, और मृत्यु के समय हम जो सोचते हैं भगवान उस प्रकार हमारी उस भौतिक इच्छा को, सुख को प्रदान करने के लिए हमें वो शरीर देते हैं। तो इसीलिए उस अलग अलग शरीर सुख को भोग करने के लिए अलग अलग प्रकार के शरीर योनि यहाँ पे है। एम मतलब मेंटेनर। तो 12 से 15 जो वर्ष देखे वहां पे कृष्णा अभी उन्होंने भौतिक संसार के बारे में बताया कैसे, और हम लोग भौतिक संसार से आध्यात्मिक जगत के बारे में थोड़ा सा इंडिया। अभी वो उनका जो पोजीशन एज ए मेंटर, मतलब यहाँ जो पूरे सृष्टि के जो निर्माता है और जो सृष्टि को प्रभु व्हाट डू वी से मेंटेन इन हिंदी, जो सृष्टि को चलाते हैं, तो वो कृष्णा अपना वहां पे वो पोजीशन स्थापित करता, अपनी जगह वहां पे स्थापित करते। तो जैसे बताया यहाँ पे कि कृष्णा जो है हमारा जो फिजिकल ग्रॉस बॉडी जो है अलग अलग जो भौतिक संसार को सुख को भोगने के लिए वो भी कृष्णा ही प्रदान करते हैं, और उसका जो एनर्जी है वो भी लाइफ एनर्जी है वो भी कृष्णा ही देते हैं। जो ज्ञान है, जो बुद्धि है, जो याददाश्त है, जो हम लोग भूलते हैं, ये सब चीजें कृष्णा से ही आते हैं। और कृष्णा जो और इस तरह से जब हम ये चीज समझते हैं और कृष्णा को हम लोग समर्पित करते हैं, तब हम आत्मा ज्ञान का प्राप्ति करते हैं, और इस जो काफी खतरनाक जो ये है जीवन मृत्यु का जो साइकिल है उससे हम बाहर निकल आते हैं। और जो लास्ट वर्स हम लोगों ने देखा था 16 से 18, तो वहां पे प्रभु इट इज 18 और 20, वी हैड 20 वर्स राइट, और 16 वर्स 18 वर्स। तो इन तीन श्लोक की जो गीता है जो प्रभु ने अभी समझाया था, उसमें पहले 4 वर्ष में भगवत गीता में इन 3 श्लोकों में उन्होंने समझाया। पहले मतलब 10वें चैप्टर में अध्याय में उन्होंने 4 श्लोकों में समझा था, और अभी इसमें 3 श्लोकों में उन्होंने समझाया। तो तीन क्या था उन्होंने बताया था। एक था कि क्षर और अक्षर। क्षर मतलब जो बद्ध जीव है, बद्ध जीव के बारे में जो भौतिक संसार के सुख में फंसे रहते हैं उनके बारे में बताया, और वो जो मुक्त जीव है जो इनफेलिबल करके बता रहे थे, वो कभी मतलब एक बार भौतिक वो आध्यात्मिक धाम में, गोलोका वृंदावन में, वैकुंठ धाम में या हरिधाम जो भी हम कहे, वहां पे जाने के बाद वापस कभी भौतिक संसार में आती नहीं है, वो अक्षर है, वो है मुक्त जीव। तो उनके बारे में बताया। और तीसरा है कि इन दोनों के परे बद्ध जीव और मुक्त जीव, इनके ऊपर जो है वो परमात्मा या फिर भगवान स्वयं है जो इन दोनों के ऊपर है। और जो व्यक्ति इन चीजों को समझता है, इन आइडेंटिटी को अलग अलग समझता है और इनको जो भगवान को पूछता है उसे समझदार व्यक्ति कहा गया है। कृष्ण नेवर बिकम गॉड। तो इस तरह से ये जो डिफरेंस है जो इन तीनों चीजों में और या फिर हम लोग ऐसे कहे कि जीवा और भगवान में कृष्णा ने यहाँ पे क्लियर डिफरेंस बताया गया कि दोनों अलग अलग है, और ये अलग अलग कहते हुए भगवान वापस इस चीज को स्थापित करते हैं कि जो जीव है वो कभी भगवान बन नहीं सकते, और भले वो मुक्त जीव ना हो क्यों ना हो, लेकिन वो कभी भगवान नहीं बन सकते। और उनकी जो आइडेंटिटी है, उनकी जो हिंदी आइडेंटिटी पता नहीं, लेकिन जो अस्तित्व है वो भगवान से हमेशा अलग रहता है। आई थिंक आई ट्राई टू कवर प्रभु। हरे कृष्णा प्रभु।
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया प्रभु, थैंक यू। हरे कृष्णा।
आप कुछ कह रहे हैं चैतन्य चरण प्रभु?
बहुत अच्छा,
आपकी आवाज नहीं रही।
Thank you Prabhu. Sant Gopesh.
Thank you Prabhu.
Thanks a lot. It's very very nice. Yeah. I was thinking about maintainer. What's the correct word of Hindi? I don't know. We should try to Google maintain.
पालन करता प्रभु जी,
पालन करने वाला।
पालन करने वाला, right? Yeah, we have. And today, so can I become a bit lighter today, because we have completed 15th chapter, and Mataji was there. I think Bindu Mataji, right? She was having a bit of a difficulty in Guhyam, right, Mataji? It is Bindu Mataji, or who had the problem in Guhyam?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Bindu Mataji.
Is there still online?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll just try to be a bit lighter if you don't mind. Forgive me for this indulgence. Just to make Mataji understand the importance of Guhyam, today very naughty Prabhu, Vasant Prabhu has sent me this. I don't know why he has sent me. So I'll share with all of you. Yeah, Mataji, now you'll know what is Guhyam.
High speed data transfer. Okay, Prabhu. Understood, Prabhu.
Understood?
Yeah, Prabhu, understood.
Again, I think you can also read the 9th chapter shloka, Iti Guhyatamam. There also Krishna uses the word Guhya. I think my wife also joined. Yeah, she can tell my many pronunciation goof-ups whenever you meet her. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.